How rude.
Delicate. I have the man with the master plan. I don't know if anybody knows who's this. You speak clearly now. I don't know if anybody knows who's. God damn it, that's really hard to say.
I don't know if anyone knows who's.
Wrong again.
I don't know if anyone knows
Who this is.
Stat. I don't know if anybody
He's
knows who this is, guys.
Rick Astley.
Jurassic Park.
Yeah, I have to say it Irish.
You gotta be in this.
Yeah, man, it's your place. So we're at this place we just broke into, and we're just gonna start hopping into the pits.
We're at this awesome place.
We have keys to it for some reason.
Dropping shit off at places.
Ready? This one's not as good as Chandler's camera, I'm sorry.
Cool.
It's
I've been
on.
recording.
It's on. That's what I do to people when we take pictures. I'm like, hey, hold.
Yeah.
Just hold on. Oh, this is a video. It's a video. All right, my dudes. So we're here at Smooth Waters Wildlife Park with my good homie, Mr. Nathan Sweeting.
Hello.
The sweetest
The Irish
one
beard
around.
guy.
Welcome to Smooth Waters.
Dude, I like that.
Yeah,
I like his little intro.
Get a recording.
That's how he
going
greeted
on.
us today when we got here. Now, we were here late last night bothering Nate at an ungodly hour because yesterday...
You suck and you're late all the time, that's why.
This is true.
Moving
I'm not
lake
gonna
lizards.
argue that. We were moving lake lizards.
A really
and I
big lake
am
lizard.
always late. Fashionably
Yeah.
late. But yesterday, Chandler had to help me out because I'm a sissy. So he had to help me out with a big, huge alligator we had to catch. And then we had to transfer from South Florida all the way to North Florida to my good friend, Nathan Sweeting, who
Sweetheart.
always lends a hand. Yeah, that's a good one. Nathan Sweetheart, who always lends a hand whenever we need to house some crocodiles or alligators or anything in need. He's always here to help out. We appreciate
I'm
that.
always happy to hold a flashlight so you can
Big
see in the
guy.
middle of the night too.
He did that too.
He's got a warm heart for the cold-blooded.
So Mr. Chandler Man over here has actually offered to be my cameraman for the day. What a treat. What a treat.
I'm actually pretty skilled with the camera, so I'm going to be recording and following him around.
All right, so what are we going to do first, man?
I figured we'll go play with Trapper. I
Oh.
always like to do that.
You guys are in for a treat. Nate, a little bit of background. Nate's been doing this forever and a day. So he is a wealth of knowledge when it comes to crocodilians. So this will be a good video for you guys. Because
I was about to say stand up on something.
Well, he's on a hill. I'm in a ditch here, a little bit.
I'll get in the ditch, bro.
See,
get in the ditch.
see, now you're gonna feel short.
So he's a wealth of knowledge, and this is going to be a good video for you guys, because there's going to be a lot on crocodilian husbandry. I know there's not a lot of people out there that care for these things, but a lot of people are interested in it, and this is the man to learn from. He's where I learn a lot of my stuff. So, first stop, Trapper the alligator.
There.
His name is Wilbur. Wilbur, come here, buddy.
We're making a pit stop. We're making a pig stop.
We're making a pig stop. Oh my god.
Come here, you biscuit.
Oh,
He likes the croc chow too.
he's so cute. I want to die.
Here's a small secret. I think pigs are my spirit animal. Literally, one of my favorite things in the world. Who could not love any pig at any size, any color? We love them all because they're hilarious. And you're so dirty and disgusting. Come over here. Come love me. Come love me. No?
It's because you want it too much.
Is that what it is?
I don't know, maybe. Yeah,
Is this thing recording?
Does it say
Did you press the
recording?
button?
Yeah, it says
says
recording, but there's no like
recording?
number. It's not showing how long it's recording for.
Chandler, I told you, this is a bougie camera I stole from the office. It's not like your fancy camera. We can't all be Chandler. Damn it. Yeah, that's what I said. Can I just...
Yeah, he loves the head scratch.
Oh my god, I don't want to eat bacon now.
Want to do your tricks today? Come here. Woo! Trapper isn't a person. He's kind of sort of like an industry legend, a little bit. He's a big giant alligator, and the zookeepers that first got him, I want to say like 24 years ago, got real creative when they named him. They got him from a trapper, so they named him Trapper. I would have gone with like Steve or something, but you know.
That sounds like something I would do. That's why everything I have is named Bird or Monkey or whatever the animal may be. That's what his name is. It's just easier.
Yeah, I mean, I have default names, but there's a little bit more creativity there, you know.
Yeah, well,
whatever,
you
it works.
got cool names for your stuff. I never have any cool names.
The cool thing though is that he knows his name, so we're not going to ever change his name.
Right, so he reacts well to it.
They're a lot smarter. I spend most of my day convincing the general public and the world that all of this stuff is smarter than people give them credit for.
I just got to.
You know, and they learn quick. You know, I can train anything in here. You give me any new crocodile, alligator, anything like that, and I can train them faster than I can train most coworkers.
Or kids.
I'm not implying they're smarter than humans. I'm just saying, you know,
They're easier.
the same techniques you would use to train a cat, dog, coworker, anything else, you can use on them, and they're going to pick it up real quick.
Yeah, I think they do pick it up relatively quickly.
And it makes your job and life a lot safer and easier.
You guys saw the video I posted the other day. All those alligators were nuisance caught alligators. They were brought in at that size. We didn't raise them from babies. They just do well.
Yeah, and they learn. And that whole saying, you can't teach an old dog new tricks, was said by somebody who had no idea what they were talking about.
He was talking
So I
about.
kept cats.
He was talking about his old dog.
Yeah.
That doesn't do any tricks.
But what we feed them as a staple is a special zoo diet. It's called crock chow. This is made from freeze-dried dog poo. It's got lots of undigested nutrients in it, so it works really, really well. It's got a weird kind of fishy aftertaste. Sometimes you'll get a hint of corn in there.
I think the corn is more. I guess it wouldn't be protein.
For anybody not catching in on the sarcasm there, it's not poo.
Some people don't.
It's not poo. Some people would believe it.
This is Missouri crocodile. We also feed it at my park as a variety, and it's awesome for treats because it's small.
Trapper, come here, buddy. You want to come over and play?
But it's also super nutritious, super duper. I want to point out real quick, Chandler, man, look at the pond. Get a good look at the pond.
It's really natural.
You want to talk about top-notch husbandry? This is exactly where you would find them in the wild in a situation like this. So Nate's ponds, and you're going to see a lot of Nate's ponds in this episode and probably a couple more episodes after that. But essentially, all of his ponds are built like this. It's all very naturalistic. All the cypress heads coming out of there, dude, it's epic over here. If I have a property one day big enough to have these large animals like this, aside from the property that I'm at, this is how I'd want to do it. What's that there, big guy?
This is the green stuff on top of the pond. So the first 20 comments at the beginning of your video will be like, ew, look at all the algae. And it's not. It's the opposite of algae. So if you look, it's not growing in the water. There's just a mat of some weird vegetation there, and then you can see right through it. But what it is a tiny little plant called duckweed. So if you look at these tiny little specks, that's one whole plant right there. I don't even know if you can see that. That's one whole plant. So there's like billions of them just sitting there like a blanket on the surface. And it's a really good natural water filter. So I don't know if you can see it with the camera.
That's why it's
but as I
clear
push this away, it's cleaning the water. So you can see, you know, right through the water. So it's cleaning the water. It's nice, clean drinking water, nice and clear for the most part. And it's also a good food source. So, you know, for the fish and maybe some types of frogs, but turtles will eat it, you know, fish will eat it. So that's good. And it's also a really good insulator. So because it makes this mat, and sometimes it can be up to like maybe a ½ inch thick, it's going to keep the pond cooler in the summer and a little bit warmer in the winter. So that kind of helps out with retaining some heat in there and keeps things a little bit warm.
Boom.
Outside of that, it's just funny. So once we make some signs, I'm going to stick a flagpole out in the pond somewhere and get a skeleton and dress him up like a golfer and have him hanging onto the pole. And then the sign will say, don't mistake duckweed for a putting green. because that can end badly in certain situations in the wild.
I think it looks gorgeous like that, man.
Yeah, I like it.
It's one of my favorites.
Once you understand what it is, too, I mean, even our guests, once they know, hey, that's duckweed, that's a plant, it's not algae, then they start to kind of appreciate it a little bit more, too. But it is a fun talking point.
Another thing that it's doing is providing a lot of cover. So for animals that come in, especially in a nuisance situation, maybe they're a little bit uncomfortable, they have to get acclimated. It's a real good way to keep them feeling secure. They're not out in the open anywhere. They're in the water. They're not seeing everything going on and whatnot. They can go and hide underneath and kind of chill out and acclimate on their own time instead of kind of being thrust into it in a pit where there's a bunch of alligators and it's a concrete pit and all that stuff. This is much nicer.
Yeah, it definitely gives them a little extra hiding ability. So if they are nervous, they can hide. Another thing is kind of neat. Check that out. You know what that is?
Well, I can't put it in my pipe and
It's
smoke it, can I?
you can eat it. It's called Florida betony. It's in the mint family, so it might have a little bit of a minty taste.
It's great. It's fucking fantastic. Am I gonna break out in hives now?
I'm not even sure that's the actual plant, so I'm not 100%.
Botanist.
No, absolutely not. That's
not
super
it?
toxic. No.
Super.
Yeah, you can't taste that salicylic acid in it. It's gonna
Never
start
listen
burning.
to Nate when it comes to plants.
I don't know. Plants.
I
I'm
thought he
like,
was a
I know.
botanist.
No, there's another plant that looks just like this that is in the mint family that you can eat, but not that one.
Next episode is the hospital visit.
It's fun. Enrichment, for anybody that doesn't know it, is generally fun stuff, but it keeps you
Mind
engaged
stimulating.
and or it gives you exercise or something, but it's something that's generally beneficial. To define it, enrichment is anything. So if I punch you in the face right now, that's enrichment. It's
For
not
you.
good. No, it's for you too.
For me.
It's a change. Yeah, enrichment's neither good or bad. It's not a good or a bad. Just like positive and negative reinforcement isn't good or bad.
Are you guys gonna fight?
Well, I mean, we're not gonna fight, but I guess I'm getting some enrichment today.
Well,
should cut it
enrichment
right
is anything different from your normal
Something
thing.
new.
So a punch in the
Something to
face isn't
stimulate
good.
the mind.
It's not a good. Come on, you want some? Come here. Hey,
Oh,
I know,
okay, you got food?
I saw
Oh,
it.
okay.
I saw it. All right. I know. Okay, so one thing I always look for, or especially if I'm teaching people, whatever, they do a lot of vocalizations. They make a lot of, they talk a lot with their body, so body language. Once you understand the body language, the vocalizations, even to a level of almost like the context, or maybe not context, but like the tone of voice. Like you can say the word hey, and it can mean a lot of different things. You can be like, hey, that's my bike, or hey, I just won the lottery, and it
Or
means something
hey.
different, right? So a hiss or what he's doing, in the context of what he's doing, he's saying one thing to me or the other. So it's important if I want to maintain a balance of trust and respect, then I need to listen to him just as much as I want him to listen to me. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So
Just like
I
if
prefer
I
to go with
said,
that.
Nate, hey.
I think the old school training technique of master versus beast is kind of stupid.
He didn't let me hit on him. Say that one more time.
Got bit by
Why I was saying I think the old school training technique of you can hit on me whenever you want.
I did. I said,
it's
hey.
on film.
He
and
totally shot me
I
down.
have a wife.
Totally shot me down.
Hey, how you doing?
Hey.
So yeah, the old school mentality on some training techniques is kind of a master versus beast. You do what I say, or
Which
or
is
you don't
stupid.
get this.
Yeah, it's just
like you're
stupid.
holding food hostage. Very little of the training that we do here has anything to do with food. Anybody that can say out loud with any amount of conviction, and I'll go on camera a bajillion times saying this because it's going to piss off a lot of people. But if you're one of those people that says, "Oh, it's just food motivated," because what life form on the planet is not food motivated?
All of them are.
Like, we don't even have to be friends. You want to come in here and hang out? This will not work with every guest, just some guests. But if you find out what my favorite candy is, you might get in for free.
Boom.
There you go.
Wink.
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 But what's not food motivated? Like, seriously.
A point,
yes.
Rocks.
I'm going to point something out real quick. If you go to my previous video where I'm feeding the alligators and we're doing that station training, if you watch before I even start feeding, when we're about to clean and he pops out, I still give him the same hand command that I always give, still tell him to hold his spot, and he still does it. without getting the food. It's just a little bit better, you know, afterwards I'll
Right.
shovel
So
that
you
food
can
in.
train based on treats and rewards and all that type of
It's
stuff.
just
But
associating.
everything's a reward, but to say that it can only be done that way is what I'm talking about. Where no, absolutely not. Like you can reinforce in ways that are positive to that animal. So if he likes a certain thing, you know, if he likes me getting excited or running away or doing whatever, I can reinforce him with something like that.
Right.
You know, just like we have kids. So, you know, if they're playing sports and they score a goal, do we throw pizza at them? No. That would be fun, but we don't do that. We cheer and yell and applaud. And
When my kids start their sports,
start throwing
I'm
skills.
launching pizza at the face.
There you go.
Goal! Wing!
I'm not going to waste the energy on high-fiving you, but whoosh, here's a piece of
pizza.
pizza. There you go. Good job, buddy.
I also want to
Launch
point out
ice
that
cream
this
at him.
giant alligator here, that everybody gives him all this BS for of being this man-eating beast. Oh, I spoke too soon. He's going to kill Nate.
Up, up, up. Up. Good boy. That's a good boy. Thank you. There you go.
Look at that, dude. Look at that.
Now, he's not, you know, I mean, we came up, he was like, shh, I don't want to play today. You know, but he's not charging us out. He's not pushing us away. He's
not
fine
going
with the
away
visit.
either.
You know, and he's, you know, if he didn't want to do this up stuff and whatever, then he wouldn't be doing it.
Also, he's hanging out, man.
Up, up, up. One more. Up, up, up. Up, up, up. Now, I like when he's acting like this. Some people would say, oh, he's being stubborn. He doesn't want to play today, you know, in kind of a show sense, which isn't really the right way to approach that. It's not the animal that's doing something wrong. It's the trainer that's doing something different or confusing the animal. But when he's not in a mood to come over and do routines or even do the enrichment stuff or anything else, then I like to take advantage of this for veterinary related things. What were you going to do? You want to try and get him to stand up?
Oh, you tell me.
You can do that.
What are you doing? Just putting it over top of his head?
Yeah,
like I
just
do?
hold it over his head like this is kind of the up thing, but you say up, up, up.
Tell him up too. That's what I do.
Yeah,
Oh
go.
my God,
Up,
we're
up, up.
same Z.
But you got to
bro.
say it 3 times.
Up, up, up. Up, up, up. Up, up. Big boy. Up, up, up. See, I'm not Nate. See
You
what's
can do it.
happening
Do it. It's all
here?
right.
Up, up,
Go up, up, up.
Stay. Up, up, up. Now watch
Say
this.
it slower.
Hit it, Nate. Watch this shit.
Up, up, up. That's a good boy. Come
This
up
is
a little
his
higher.
dad.
Up a little higher.
His dad.
Well, the other thing that I tell people a lot too is, like, anybody that knows you already knows that you have tons of experience. You've been doing this forever too. But you're new to him. So the analogy that I give is me being a trainer to all these animals, a lot like being a teacher to a bunch of grade school kids. So I have to earn their trust and respect, but he knows me. You know, so as you coming in, you're now a substitute teacher. So what do the kids normally do? They try to see what they can get away with the sub. Like, so he kind of sort of, he opened his mouth. He did a little bit for you, but he's like, maybe this guy's a pushover and he'll just give it to me right away. You know?
So he makes a good point. So here's what I tell, like, the girls at work when they want to train things that I've worked with for so long. I think it has to do with a couple of different things. One, like Nate said, the animals know who I am. This is why when you're in like an AZA situation, when you have multiple people training the same animal, they'll usually use a clicker, something monotone, and they're constantly bringing new people around them all the time to get them used to the fact that it's going to be anybody training you. We're not like that. We're not AZA, for one. For two, Nate runs a park on his own. So he's back here taking care of these animals on his own. He does all this stuff on his own. So when he comes back here and works with these animals, he's building a relationship for himself. So Trapper obviously can see me. He sees I'm not Nate. He can hear me even if he was blind, and he would know I'm not Nate because I have a different tone of voice than Nate does. So for that reason, like Nate says, he already has his trust. So for me to come over here and go up, 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 like Nate said, he's happy.
Oh, wait, what?
Up, up, up. Up, up, up.
He's kind of sort of testing you.
One more time. Nate, go ahead.
All right. Come on, buddy. Up, up, up. Good boy. That's a good boy. Good boy. Look at that. That was super good.
Also want to point out that when he stands up, he's almost as tall as Nate, and all of his feet are still on the floor.
Yeah. All right, so all the training we do with our animals looks good to a crowd and for photo ops and videos and stuff, but it's also more practical than that. So everything applies to veterinary exams or emergency situations or containment if we need to you know, because when he gets sick, traditionally you'd have to catch the animal, restrain it, make it safe for everybody involved.
Right.
I don't have to do that with him anymore. So hold it right there, buddy. So if I need to hold, if I have to give him antibiotics or do a blood draw, I can come back here to the tail and, you know, come back here, and between these whorls, these big rows of scales and scutes, there's that thinner skin called the sutures, so that's where the nail's gonna go. So sometimes when I'm really doing a mock version of this, I'll get like a paper clip and bend it out so it's pokey and annoying, you know, and I'll come back here and I'll kind of get in there a little bit, but he's not spinning around like you would expect an alligator to normally do. You know, it's not super comfortable. Maybe it's a little tickly because it's just my finger, but if I had to, I could do a blood draw right here in the mainline vein in here, or right here in the muscle. Antibiotics go right into the muscle. So right there, good boy. You did a good job, buddy. We're working on this one too. Come on, good boy. That's a good boy. Come on, come on, good boy. That was a good boy. And now, after the doctor's visit, what does everybody like? A lollipop. So there you go.
Bam.
So if I did have to give him a shot, or there was the actual needle or doing the blood draw, then instead of the normal crock chow stuff, I'd bring in something different.
Right.
Like maybe a half a chicken, or, you know, just something out of the ordinary that's like, ooh, neato, you know.
Trapper.
Oh, right there, you know, that's...
Trapper's a beast, man. Nate and his funny looking dog, Trapper.
Yeah, he's pretty awesome.
He's very well behaved. He's a good boy. Like I said, you guys can come visit Trapper, Smooth Waters Wildlife Park at any point in time. Look it up. It's on Google Maps. That's how cool he is. Google
Come
Maps
out for a day of fun, smiles, and crocodiles.
Crocodiles. All right, man. On the next one. Let's do it.
Into the monkey.
Hold this one. Let's see if I can get the 10.0 Olympic hit. Ready? Ready? I'll do the front foot forward.
Snap.